So yeah, hello everyone. So I'm Jashwant from Nextgen Cybersafe. So hello all. How are you guys doing? Yeah, I see around 13 people in the meeting right now. Could you guys put a message in the chat box? Just put a hi in the chat box if you're here. Yeah, hi, hi. So yeah, so what is the topic of the discussion today? What topic are we gonna learn today? Yep, that's right. NASCAR, it's bug bounty. Before we get into deep in this topic, let me just ask you a quick question. What does a bounty mean? Forget about the bugs, forget about all of those things. What does a bounty mean? Money, you could elaborate on that. Swags. Yeah, if anyone could answer what a bounty is. He was partially correct though. Rewards of hard work. Yep, that's absolutely right. That's yeah, finding bugs and rewards for those bugs. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So now let's get into the PPT of that and rewards for finding bugs. Yes, that's correct. Cyber update. And anyone else who wants to answer? What's a bounty? All right. Now let's get into the topic. One second. So yeah. So I guess able to see screen message in the chat box so that I know that it's visible to you guys. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you. Yeah, now let's get to PPT now. So yeah, introduction to bug bounty. So as you guys have already said, what a bounty means. So a bounty is something that is given in return for the hard work that is given as an appreciation, you can say, or like as a token of hard work for finding something is called as a bounty. So, for example, if you have seen Kalki, so there's a five-star bounty, four-star bounty. So, like those are the bounties for catching people. In olden days, there would be bounties for catching people, and in the generations that we are living right now, they are bounties for finding bugs. That's very interesting, isn't it? So, let's get into the topic in a deep way. So, what's a bug bounty, and what are the types of bug bounty, or like how we can find the bugs in a application or API or a web application? And what are the rewards and how are the rewards measured? In what way are the rewards measured? We'll get into all of those topics now. So, introduction to bug bounty. Organizations can interact with security researchers in an organized manner and provide incentives through bug bounty programs to encourage them to find and report vulnerabilities in their system. I know that's a lot of information, but let me break it down to you in a simple way. So, what bug bounty in simple is, let's just say there's a company like Google, Facebook, Insta, or some other big multi-billionaire company. So although they are having a dedicated security team to test out their patches, vulnerability patches or the security issues and all those things, they'll be running out the bug bounty programs. So what does a bug bounty program mean? So let's just say you're one of the penetration tester and you're trying to find the bugs or the vulnerabilities in an application or the API. So that is what a bug bounty is. So you're finding out the bugs in an application. So what is the need of those multi-billionaire companies or the million-dollar companies to run these kind of programs? Can anyone answer why do they need? Because they're having a lot of money, they can invest in their research and development, they can invest in more people, they can invest in more employment in terms of cybersecurity research and development. Why do they in Barbary programs? If anyone knows the answer or like you can try, you can just give it a try to save revenue or some of it is right. For security purposes, I don't think so. Okay. So let's just say, as you all know, the companies I just told you about have large database, large users, we can say. For example, Google has a lot of millions of users, or Instagram has a millions of billions of users, right? So there are many users, and there is a possibility of getting a threat in any direction or like from any of the users. So a dedicated team in which the users or like the product that they are managing has a lot of users is very hard to manage and find the vulnerabilities and find the patches. Although you're having a professional team, although you're having a great team, it becomes very hard to find the bugs in those things because the threat intelligence of the threat landscape keeps on increasing day by day. There will be new threats that are coming to the cybersecurity environment. There are new threats that the attackers are getting to know, and there are a lot of other things. So, what these companies do is they conduct bug bounty programs so that most of the users or like the attackers or the professionals who are specialized in finding bugs, they'll try to act in different situations and they'll try to find the bugs in all of those kinds of situations so that they can find the vulnerabilities in those applications apart from the security researchers that are present in their company. So that's what bug bounty and why do bug bounties actually work. So that's how organizations or the big organizations use bug bounty for. What is bug bounty? So programs known as bug bounties are organized attempts that pay ethical hackers for locating and disclosing security flaws in hardware, software, or online applications. As we discussed earlier, so bug bounties are nothing but the programs that are organized attempts. So they are the attempts that pay ethical hackers. So ethical hackers are getting paid for finding the bugs in an application. So that's what bug bounty means in general. అమ్మా లేదు మా డోరేసాయి డోరేసాయి మా మీటింగ్ లో ఉన్నామా మీటింగ్ లో ఉన్నామా అమ్మా డోరేసాయి బయట నేను కాల్ చేస్తా తీ. Yeah, so further, yes, one second. Yeah, what we were discussing the definition of bug bounty. So programs known as bug bounties are organized attempts that pay ethical hackers for locating and disclosing security flaws. What do we mean by security flaws? There are some kind of threats that cause some kind of loss to a organization or some kind of loss to a web applications are called as security flaws. So these security flaws need to be patched or those vulnerabilities need to be patched in order for secure usage of that application or that secure usage of that web application or whatever the product is. So that's what bug bounty is, finding the vulnerabilities or finding the bugs. So bugs are nothing but the security flaws that are in the web application, finding them and disclosing them or telling them to the telling that particular bug or that particular security flaw to that particular organization so that they can act upon that security flaw and they can patch that vulnerability. It's called as a bug bounty. So what is the purpose of bug bounty? By proactively recognizing and mitigating possible threats before they may be exploited by bad actors, they are intended to improve security. So why do we need bug bounty? So it's just like any other security tool or cybersecurity tool that which protects from the attackers. So what bug bounty does is it mitigates the possible threats before they actually come and before they actually cause any loss to the application or web application. So what they actually do is, let's say if there is a threat to a web application, what is bug bounty programmers or these bug bounty hunters in specific do is they try to find that bug before the attacker or the cyber threat attacker, who is a bad actor and this premise is trying to exploit that threat. What this bug bounty hunter would do is he'd find that bug before he actually attacks, and then he would inform that to the organization so that they can act upon that bug and they can fix that one. So that's what purpose of bug bounty is. Now let's get into the business side of bug bounty. So as we all know, bug bounty pays a lot of money. We are seeing in news every day. Every other day we are seeing in news that a 14-year child or a 21-year-old student has found a bug in some of the XYZ organization and they paid him a lump sum amount of money. So as you can see in the graph provided in the slide, so the so bug bounty has increased the price, like the reward for the bug bounty has gradually increased from its implementation and all the people finding the bugs. So what are the benefits of bug bounty program? So it improves the security, we all know, and it promotes proactive approach and it is cost effective and it is public image. It also promotes the public image of that organization. So what do we mean by improved security? So the particular meaning of that improved security is bug bounty programs helps organizations identify and fix vulnerabilities that may have otherwise gone unnoticed. Yes, that's true. So let's just say we are running a bug bounty program in an organization. The bug bounty hunters who are trying to find the security vulnerabilities or security flaws in that web application would identify and fix the vulnerabilities that might have gone unnoticed if there was no bug bounty program conducted. So that's how it improves the security. And what do we mean by proactive approach? As we discussed in the earlier slide, proactive approach means that we are mitigating the risks before they actually cause any harm. So that's what proactive approach means. We encourage proactive approach to security rather than reaching to a security incident after they occur. So security incident means like we are affected by loss of data or loss of money or loss of reputation, something like that is said as security incident. So before the security incident occurs, we are trying to mitigate those security flaws, which in turn might cause for security incidents. So that's what proactive approach means. So what do we mean by cost effectiveness? So one of the students have also said that it's cost effective to run bug bounty programs. Yeah, that's absolutely true. So bug bounty programs can be cost effective way to enhance security, especially when compared to traditional penetration testing. Yeah, that's true because there are a lot of bug bounty hunters in the cybersecurity landscape nowadays. So what this helps for the organizations is they'll put up the bug bounty programs of their organizations to the bug bounty hunters, and instead of paying to a lot of penetration testers at once, they're only paying for the persons who found the bugs and who found the security flaws in that web application. You understand what I'm saying? So they're only paying for the persons they have found the bugs for or they have found the web application flaws for. So that's how they might reduce the cost for another employees who they might want to hire for penetration testing. Instead of hiring a bunch of people for penetration testing, if a bug bounty program is conducted, the flaws or the security flaws in that web application might be known. That might actually also be known by a penetration tester, but this is more cost friendly because you're not paying for a lot of employees compared to a single person or a single team who you are paying for only when they found out the bug in your web application. So what do we mean by public image? It promotes public image as well. Organizations that offer bug bounty programs demonstrate a commitment to security, which can improve their public image and customer trust. It's absolutely right. That's because there's a company called as XYZ. So they are a big company and there's a lot of customers inflow and outflow in that company. So they are trying to run a bug bounty company and they've gone public and said about this bug bounty program. So what the other users might think, or like what the other users' mindset goes into that is they will think that this company has a lot of users and they are thinking a lot about the security of those users. So that's how the public image of that company or the organization increases by just conducting some of the bug bounty programs. So now let's get into the starting stages of the bug bounty. Like how do we get into the bug bounty programs, or how do we hunt? How do we become a bug bounty hunter? How can we report the bugs to our organization or something like that? So getting started with bug bounty. Choose a platform. Select a reputable bug bounty platforms that aligns with your interests and skills. Some popular platforms include HackerOne and Bugcrowd. So there are a number of platforms for bug bounty hunters or bug bounty programs. Some of the popular ones are HackerOne and Bugcrowd. You can check those out and you will be able to learn a lot of information about what are the bugs that have been recently found out in the organizations, let that be a small organization or that be a big organization. You can find out the most of the flaws or the security flaws that have been reported to that organizations and that have already been fixed. So you can give it a try. Register and create a profile. You need to create a profile in the websites and explore the programs. Browse through the available bug bounty programs and identify those that match your expertise and interest. So we need to keep in mind that bug bounty is mostly done by penetration testers or cybersecurity experts, or bug bounty hunting in general is done by cybersecurity experts or penetration testers who are well known of all the vulnerabilities or the previous threat landscapes that have already occurred to some of the web applications or some of the organizations in the previous. So they'll always try to learn new things or the new tech landscapes that are evolving. So they try to always learn and they'll always try to expand their knowledge. So that's how a mindset of a bug bounty hunter or cybersecurity industry member should be. And start hunting. Yeah. After that, we need to start hunting. We need to build from the scratch. We need to find the vulnerabilities. We need to run the penetration testings. We need to find the bug in a web application. Then we need to report that bug. And in accordance with that bug's flawness or the in accordance with those bugs, that how much the bug could affect the web application. That's how much the times the reward will be for the bounty hunter. Identifying and reporting vulnerabilities is the main step for getting us the reward and also the organization the reward of their security patches. So what's vulnerability identification? Leverage a variety of techniques includes code review, network scanning, web application testing to identify potential vulnerabilities. Some of the common vulnerabilities like SQL injection, XSS scripting or cross-site scripting, and authentication bypasses are some of the common vulnerabilities found in some of the web applications. So we need to find those vulnerabilities first, and then we need to make sure that this vulnerability might cause a lot of harm or like medium range harm, so that might be rewarding to us because the amount of harm a threat that we found is actually equal to the amount they would like to pay us or like similar to that in vulnerability reporting. So document vulnerabilities clearly and concisely. So we need to document all the vulnerabilities that we have found in that web application. So there's a preferred way of writing a vulnerability report. If you are if you guys have seen one of the vulnerability reports or you can check out in the Google, just a vulnerability report format, you'll find a number of document formats. So there's a particular way for writing the vulnerability report. What is the tools that you have used? Where did you find this bug, and what loss does this bug would actually do if it does not get patched? So in that way, the report has to be done. and submit reports through the platform's reporting system following their guidelines. So what are the ethical hacking techniques that we are used for some of the bug bounty hunting? So information gathering, scanning and enumeration, and vulnerability analysis. So gathering information about target system is essential to understand its architecture, vulnerabilities, and attack surface. Use open source intelligence OSINT techniques, including search engines, social media, and domain name registers. So that's how information we need to gather the information that we are finding the bugs for or finding the vulnerabilities for. So that's what information gathering is. Excuse me. We need to also find information about the threat landscape or the newer threats that are coming into the cybersecurity terms or cybersecurity surface. So we need to be kept updated with all those kinds of information. Like scanning and enumeration. Use scanning tools to discover open ports, services, and network devices. This helps identify potential entry points for further investigation and analysis. Yeah, we need to use Nmap or like some of the scanning tools so that we can find the open ports or like we can find the vulnerabilities in those ports or the network. So that's how scanning and enumeration techniques can be useful for bug bounty hunters. Vulnerability analysis. Analyze and identify vulnerabilities using penetration testing tools and techniques to determine their severity and potential impacts. This involves exploiting vulnerabilities and assessing their potential for exploiting by malicious actor. That's what vulnerability analysis is. So bug bounty platforms and programs. So as we have already discussed in one of the slides, so some of the popular platforms for bug bounty programs is HackerOne, Bugcrowd, Synact. These are some of the popular ones. So what are the focuses and features of those platforms? Let's try to read the focuses of HackerOne. Wide range of programs including web applications, hardware, IoT devices. Or this website focuses on these kind of programs or these kind of bug bounty programs that are done on these IoT devices or web applications or hardware. So that's what HackerOne mainly focuses on. So what are the features of HackerOne? So comprehensive reporting system, transparent communication, and detailed programming information. These are some of the features of the HackerOne website. You can check those out. And Bugcrowd focus on web application security. They focus on bug bounties for enterprise companies. So this mainly focuses on enterprise companies and finding bugs in those enterprise companies or the products that the enterprise companies provide to the users. So that's what Bugcrowd mainly focuses on. So what are some of the features of the bug crowd? So advanced reporting tools, flexible payment options, and community engagement features. These are some of the features of bug crowd. And let's come into the SNAC. So offers high quality penetration testing and bug bounty services for organizations. So this quantifies all the types of organizations and offers high quality penetration testing and bug bounty services. So rigorous vetting process for researchers, advanced analytics, and tailored program designers as the features of SNAC. So maximize your bug bounty earnings. So focus on high value targets, improve your skills, efficient communication, effective communication, active participation. These are the ways in which you can maximize your earnings in bug bounty programs. So focus on high value targets. What do you mean by high value targets? Let's just say you found a bug which is not that affecting to the organization as well as the if an attacker is trying to attack or exploit the vulnerability that the bug bounty hunter had found out, it is not causing that much of harm or it is not causing a harm at all, then that is not called as a high value target. A high value target would be something which might cause a severe damage to the organization, which might cause severe data loss to an organization. So identify programs with higher reward trials and focus on targets with critical vulnerabilities. That's what it actually means. Improve your skills. So as we have already said, if you are in the cybersecurity field, you need to be a voracious learner. You need to learn all the time. You need to learn about all the vulnerabilities that are coming into the threat landscape. You need to be always updated on the newer kinds of attacks that the attackers are trying to do. So you need to continuously enhance your security knowledge and skills to identify more complex and valuable vulnerabilities. Effective communication. Submit detailed and well-structured reports with clean reproduction steps and potential impact analysis. This is effective communication. We need to create the documents or the vulnerability analysis in such a way that everyone would understand what the vulnerabilities are, what are the tools that have been used, or how we should patch those vulnerabilities. So there should be an effective communicated document type so that everyone would understand what are the vulnerabilities. So active participation, we need to participate in a lot of bug bounty events so that we get familiar with the bug bounty programs and the rewards that the bug bounty programs would give and the rewarding system in which the bug bounty programs work. So we need to engage actively in bug bounty community, participate in discussions and share our knowledge and experience so that we'll grow with the community. So there's a large community bug bounty hunters. There are worldwide there are a lot of bug bounty hunters. They'll try to find bugs in every of their organizations now and then. So legal and compliance considerations. So terms and conditions. Carefully review and understand the program's terms and conditions, including scope of engagement, permitted activities, and reported guidelines. So terms and conditions should be taken care of while we are uh, trying to getting into a bug bounty or like trying to getting into a bug bounty program or we are trying to find vulnerabilities in a web application. There should be legal considerations such as we need to take some kind of NOC, no objection certificate or some kind of certificate from that organization so that we can be on the program of finding the bugs in that web application or the organization's products. So legal and ethical frameworks. Be aware of relevant legal and ethical frameworks such as Computer Fraud and Abuse Act and General Data Protection Regulations. So these are the frameworks that that detect the fraud that are being done in the name of bug bounty. So these are the considerations that we need to keep taken care of. So responsible disclosure. So we need to disclose the bugs that they have found to that particular organization that they have entered the bug bounty for. Instead of some of the bug bounty hunters may get in the trap of money and they might be selling those high value or high target vulnerabilities to some of the other hunters, which might pay them heavily. So that might cause them into some of the other troubles illegally. So we need to responsibly disclose the bugs that we have found or the bugs that the bug bounty hunter have found. So conclusions and next steps. So as we have already discussed, the bug bounty hunter or the bug bounty person who is trying to find the bugs in the web application should continuously learn, and he should always continuously engage with the community that he is in, and he need to also keep in the mind of all the ethical considerations and legal considerations before moving into bug bounty. So these are the main conclusions and next steps. So yeah, thank you guys. One second. Yeah, guys. So if anyone is having any of the doubts, please let me know. What are the qualification and certificates to become? What are the qualifications? Answer your question, Patel Finish. So there are no such qualifications or certificates to become a bug bounty hunter. So what you can actually do is you can learn about the different kinds of attacks, different kinds of network vulnerabilities. Then you will be able to find some of the vulnerabilities. In that way, you need to consider. And coming to the certificates for becoming a bug bounty hunter, there are many kinds of certificates in the cybersecurity landscape, such as some of the CCA certificates or like some of the other certificates which might certify you as one of the cybersecurity specialists, but not particularly a bug bounty hunter. So bug bounty hunter is something that is a different genre of cybersecurity, we can say. So which mainly focuses on finding the vulnerabilities in the web application or the organization. So which is mainly done by yourself and not by someone teaching you how to do it. It's your own learning and your own way of doing some of the things. So please send the PPT to the group. Yeah, for sure, Mohammed. I'll be sending the PPT in the group. I'll contact the team. What is manual hunting? So yeah, we'll be explaining these kinds of topics in the further sessions. So please stay tuned. Next time, if any other doubts, please let me know in the chat box. I'll be able to clear those doubts. Good night, Raghavendra. You can suggest the book for bug bounty. There are no such books, particular books for bug bounty. You can try out the vulnerabilities. You can find out on the internet. You can learn all those kinds of vulnerabilities, and you can get into the bug bounty field and try to find some of the vulnerabilities yourself. So there is no such book for finding bug bounties or something like that. Any other doubts, guys?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.